Hey there, and welcome to Geopolitics 411. This is a very busy week across Africa, busy in the streets, and it's because we have countries that are deciding, you know what, the Gen Zs of those countries, and here I'm speaking about Morocco, have decided it's enough. We've had enough of this government, and they've taken to the streets because they want change. So hundreds of young protesters took to the streets across Morocco in what has been described as, some of the largest protests against the government in quite a long number of years. The youth are protesting, seeking better government services as well as an end to corruption. I think this is across Africa. I mean, Morocco must have taken lessons from Kenya, from Mozambique, and, in Asian countries. And why all these young people across the world are going to the streets and demonstrating is because they are demanding better governance and just tired that the old guards have decided corruption is the only way they will survive, and this is killing our countries. So demonstrators are demanding an urgent investment in public health, education, and denouncing what they see as misplaced national priorities. I keep saying I think Africa is just a village that is just distributed in different provinces, because the same things people are demonstrating about in Mozambique, the same things Kenyans demonstrators or Gen Z went to the street for in 2024 is the same things that took Kenyans to the streets in 2025 and have taken Moroccans to the streets for the same. The protests have been organized by grassroots movements calling itself Gen Z 212, and it's spread across 11 cities, including Casablanca, Rabat, Marrakesh, and Agadir. So the Gen Z 212 movement emerged only in 2 weeks. They organized themselves and they brought quickly they were able to gain traction and attract more people to support the movement that's against bad governance and corruption in Morocco. So this movement operates without leaders or formal ties to any political parties or unions, and purely just relies on the organizing on platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Discord to mobilize supporters. All this is actually not a new script, because this is the same script that was in Mozambique. This is the same script that was in Kenya, and it's also the same script that has been used in Madagascar. So it's a movement of young people, Gen Zs, basically across, just saying they're tired of their governments, it's enough of the corruption, and they're taking up their role in terms of calling for better responsibility. And instead of doing what was previously done in terms of organizing political movements, now it's done on social media spaces. And this is quite an interesting movement. So of course, having it organized on social media platforms means it's decentralized and leaderless, as was with even the Kenyan one, and fluid organization, or even network, if you may call it. And so this form of disorganization is the biggest form of organization for the young people, and it's making people achieve a lot of good results, perhaps, or bad, depending on how you look at it, or even lack of results thereof. But if what we saw in Nepal is anything to go by, then it was good results. So Morocco's unemployment rate at the moment stands at 12.8%. Youth unemployment, though, is at 35%, and 19%, most of these unemployed people are the young graduates, and this is according to a national statistics agencies. So analysts say that protests are in response to years of neglect of public services in health sector, education, and the need for urgent reforms in these sectors, because the citizens feel now, as the young people, they are disadvantaged because they have a longer life to live ahead. And if these things are not fixed now, then they will have problems in the years to come. So earlier in the month of September, the deaths of 8 pregnant women at a public hospital. This is what prompted a widespread outrage. And I think with this outrage of people dying, 8 mothers in a hospital, this was what, acted as a catalyst for people to say, what, enough is enough, get on the streets and demand for change. So many demonstrators have also criticized the government's multi-billion-dollar investment in football infrastructure. As you know, Morocco is building stadiums because they're supposed to be part of the hosts or co-hosts of the FIFA World Cup in 2030. So they've put in a lot of investment in football, but where it matters in terms of the citizens' health, citizens' education, nothing. And so people are angry, and the masses are saying, you cannot be investing in these facilities while where people are supposed to be treated in hospitals, we have 8 women dying. So these are some of the things that have caused the uprising. And it follows similar youth large-scale demonstrations that have happened across. I mean, in Asia, we've seen in Indonesia, we've seen in Nepal, the Philippines, Madagascar is also ongoing. I mean, so these are things across that are being passed from one country to another. And I think the use of social media for young people is really working for them in terms of pushing for what they want, or even having these organized movements that are making people, come together for a cause. So there, in Nepal, I mean, that's what I was saying. In Nepal, at least the prime minister was kicked out, and they were able to do their own elections, which actually was done on social media platform, and they got themselves a prime minister to run the country. So how I look at it, I feel like even if it's on social media, things are changing. I mean, the old guards may not be happy about that. People may not be happy about how it's happening, but we are seeing results in some countries. And if you can see it in one country, it tells you it's not strange for another country to experience the results. However, the government of Morocco or coalition issued a statement expressing the willingness to engage in dialogue with the youth and in public spaces and find realistic solutions. But I keep wondering, for governments who want to engage to find solutions, what is the solution for 8 women dying in a hospital? Isn't it obvious that you should make your health systems work? Like, how strange is it that suddenly you don't know that the death of human beings or mothers in a hospital needs you to make things work and nothing to, sit at a table and talk? Strange and stupid of the old leaders, in my opinions. However, dozens of protesters have also been arrested. This is not new. I think it happens across the world. When people go to the streets, even France is going to the streets, people will be arrested. And according to the Morocco Association of Human Rights, they're against this and saying that people need to be let to enjoy their freedoms and fight for what is good. If you're in Morocco, you can tell us in the comment section how it's going, and if you indeed believe you're going to experience the change you desire, and how best you think then this social media movement should be pushed so that we are able to achieve results faster as young people, and also the easier way of getting these people out, because they keep demanding that they want to sit at a table and talk. I know talks are usually the solutions, but how best then would these talks be carried out to get them off and get young people to lead? Because it seems young people have solutions, old people have positions of power and money, and it's becoming a bit hard for that to be broken. How do we manage to cut that so that we have the change that we want, and the myth that has been Africa rising for years then becomes Africa rising practically? Share with us in the comments section. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. The world is fast-paced and sometimes you miss the action. What perspectives do you have? What is the truth? Is the world at war? Join me, Sarah Mwangi, as we make sense of the information overload.